Hello, welcome back to my channel. Here is the latest update on my Routemaster build and all my modifications that I've made to it. I've just completed pack 11 on the Agora subscription, which is 10 issues a month, and I thought I'd like to share all my modifications that I've done to the bus to enhance the actual build. We'll start from the outside of the bus and work our way inside. My main modification which I did was, obviously, as you can see them flashing, was the hazard lights. As you're aware, that the actual build doesn't come with working front side hazard lights. So basically what I've done is I ordered some very small SMDs online. I think they worked out about £7 for a pack of 5, and I drilled a very small hole into the corners of the actual lens cover, and then inserted the little SMDs. And then I disconnected the actual rear ones and joined these 2 wires to them. So I've got 4 working indicators now, 2 at the front and 2 at the rear, which I believe does give it a good finish with the actual flashing lights, as obviously the build only comes with dummies. So that was one of my main pet hates about the build, not having them working. I don't know why Hatchet never done it, but there you go. Also, this little side light at the front, that was a dummy as well. It was just a lens cover, so I wired up a small LED in there and wired them up to the main light circuit board, which, you know, on this build covers your indicators, your headlamps, fog lamps and side lights, and interior lights as well. So that was another modification that I've carried out on the build. Excuse me, love, do you mind getting out of the way? I'm trying to make a video here. Yeah, you go over there, go on, op it. Another modification that I've done was the wheels. The actual build come with red wheels, which I've never seen red wheels on the Routemasters I've driven. They were either burgundy. This little like hubcap thing, some buses did have a silver one, chrome. I was going to spray it chrome, but then it was a bit too much of a palaver, so I just left that burgundy. Same with the rear wheels. Don't know if you're aware, but the rear wheels are painted as well burgundy because they're not red. And the actual build come with a big cover on it, a hubcap cover, which I've never seen a Routemaster with them. The RTs had one, but not a Routemaster. I've never seen one. It'd be nice if you can leave it in a comment if you've come across a Routemaster with one of them. So that's the modifications on that side of the bus. Let's go into the engine now. What I've done in the engine, I've actually modified the engine as well. Not much. I just put like a little dipstick in there as well, because it didn't have a dipstick when it come with it, and you can actually take the dipstick out, and as you can see, plenty of oil in there, so that's all right. Get a bit of mileage out of that. And I've actually weathered the engine as well to make it more realistic. As you can see, the little picture there in the corner, it was a bit too new for my liking, so I've actually done that. While we're still in the engine, I put a little switch in there, a little, if you can see it, just see it down there. And basically what I've done, I put a little sound card underneath the engine, under the bus, you can't see it in there, and I put on an MP3. It's a tiny little MP3 card player, and it's the sound of a Routemaster engine starting up. So I've done it, I made it twice, so you can hear the first turn and then the second turn, and then it starts. There's a little thing down there. And I think this really sets the bus off, because the actual engine sound what you get from Agora is rubbish. You can hardly hear it on mine. A lot of people have the same problem. So this one's got like a engine revving noise as well. And now it's just ticking over. It runs for about 50 seconds, which I find it's quite a good little feature. So if we move on now to the driver's cab, what I've done in here was I painted the actual floor black and the sides, because I've never driven one with that colour floor what come with the build. It was so unrealistic. Also the handbrake looked unrealistic as well, so I painted that black and silver, as you can see inside there. That makes it stand out a lot better. I also, if you can look into, I don't know if you can see, I've actually put a driver's blind in the back, just made out of card, which looks a lot better as well. Yeah, so I'm happy with the driver's cab, the way that's come out. Quite happy. Also in the cab, I replaced the horn what come with the build and put my own horn in there, because it weren't loud enough. And this is actually an MP3 from a real Routemaster bus, an original horn. So that's the driver's cab, I do believe. I think is there anything else in there? No, that's it. So let's go now to the inside of the bus, starting downstairs. I don't know if I can get in there or not. Let's have a look. Right, as you can see inside, it's not a very clear picture because I'm only going through the open window. First thing I didn't like about the build, the hatchet build, was the actual heater control for the fan and the heater in the saloon. It was actually like on the top of the partition screen, right at the top. It was like a horizontal slider switch, which I've never seen one on a Routemaster. I'll be pleased to see if there's anyone else that have actually seen one, because I haven't. Most of the heater controller knobs were like horizontal on the central column, as you can see in this one here. So I've actually put that in. That was another addition, and I covered the original one with an advertising box, because most Routemasters had an illuminated box up there. I was going to put an illuminated box up there, but it was a lot of messing about, so I just left it as a standard advertising box. So there, that was another thing I'd done. Also, what I'd done inside, there was the flywheel cover. If you can see the flywheel cover, they were either burgundy or black. I went for the black. They're not red neither, so that was another modification I made. I gave that a quick blow over with the airbrush. Also the heat grill, I painted that silver, and I think that stands out quite well as well. Also in the cab, on the lower saloon, what have I done? You can see the pole cups on the ceiling, where the seat poles go into the ceiling, the little cups. They were sprayed the same colour as the ceiling as well, because the build, they supplied silver ones. Again, they're definitely not silver. They was always the same colour of the ceiling. I mean, if you look upstairs, the ones upstairs, they already come painted, so I've got a feeling that might have been an error on Hatchet's behalf. So yep, I painted them as well. Also the bell cord I replaced to a brown one instead of a black one, because the one they sent was black. It's just like a black thread, which was quite unrealistic as well, so I changed that. Also the differential cover, I painted that black also, and I glued down the kick plates on the long seats, because the self-adhesive ones, they were coming off, keep coming unstuck, so I put a little dab of glue behind them. Let's have a look if there's anything else downstairs. I think that's about it really on the downstairs. Right, moving into the platform area. One of the biggest problems on here was with the build was, yep, you know it, the chunky screws on the kick plates on the stairs. Now they were ridiculous, massive for the scale of the bus. So basically, a lot of people done this as well. I super glued the actual kick plates to the actual steps, and then what I've done is put a few little tiny pins to cover the holes, and it makes it look a much better than the big ugly screws that come with the hatchet build. So that was in one of the first issues, I think, that the stairs were, but first couple of issues. And when I saw the screw, I thought they must have made a mistake, but they didn't, because in the actual magazine and instructions they were massive. So I've done that. Also, now this is a funny one. The bell. Basically, we got two bells. Well, three. We got the cord that rings, that goes ding, and then we got these two. One up there, and then one down there for the conductor. Now, on the original Routemasters, there was a buzzer, and that was only located upstairs. Round about here it was. Let me open it. It was round about there it was located, if I remember correctly, or it might have been over there. Anyway, that was a buzzer. It just had a little buzzer sound. What they've done with the build, they put a buzzer in, but basically what it is, you press that was the buzzer, or you press that and that was the buzzer. So basically, you could either have a buzzer or a bell, but you couldn't have it separately. So for example, I put a buzzer there and a bell there. It didn't work like that. You either had a buzzer and a buzzer, or a bell and a bell, because you took it out the plug out of the circuit board. So that was rather daft. So basically what I've done is I split the bell, disconnected it, and I plugged in the buzzer. So basically now I've got a buzzer there and a bell here, but the bell runs off my own sound card. So basically I disengaged their sound card for the bell. The bell cord still rings on their sound card, but I prefer my bell anyway, because I put actually a little sound of the Routemaster pulling away. So basically, so now I've got the little buzzer down here, and then I've got my little, where are you, bell, and then now you hear it pulling away. Which I think is a lot better, isn't it? With the bell and the sound of the engine moving off. Here we go. Yeah, so that was another thing I'd done. Pity they didn't have a little bell up there though in the corner, but never mind. You can't expect it spot on. But I'm so glad that I've managed to split it now, so I can still use both of them, like the buzzer and the bell, not just the buzzer or the bell. So that was another. I was quite happy with that one, to be honest. That was probably one of my favourite mods on here. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else I've bloody done to it. Let's have a look. The inside's all covered, I think. Yeah, I did make a mistake when I was actually building the actual putting the back plate back on. What happened? We got the little 3 lights here. It's on like a little strip, a flimsy strip, and as I was putting the framework in, it snapped. So basically, this one snapped, the offside, and I couldn't solder it because it was hardly any room behind it. I was going to actually wire up 2 new LEDs, but basically what I'd done was, there's so much problems because the wires are exposed and there's a lot of metal behind there, and a lot of people are having problems with them shorting. So basically I just disconnected this one and just left the middle one in. So I mean it still works with the brake light when you touch the pedal, so I'm quite happy with that. So I would have liked all 3 of them, but never mind. That was one of the things. I don't think anyone's built this bus and it's the original what they intended, because the materials are so flimsy, you know, you've got to be so careful. But yeah, I put all the lighting in there. The only thing I would say is I'm a bit disappointed with the light at the front destination. They're not that bright. I wish they would have put like a panel in like the side and the rear ones. But yeah, that's my build so far. I hope you like it and the modifications. As I said, I've only got a few more issues left coming at the end of the month, and I should be finished by Christmas. Well, by the end of November. Well, this one's going into service, so we're gonna have to sub this one. Gonna change the old blind. You can actually change it from inside the cab, or it's got quite a few destinations on it. We're going to number 9. Is that going to the cemetery gates? Nah. I think I put the 11 up. I think it's going down to Victoria. Or I'll go to the. No, this one's got a turn. He's going around. He's got curtailed at the bank. I tell you what, it's like a real bus. You know when if you're a bus driver and you had to turn these handles. I used to run on my bus. I used to go to one end and never bother changing it because it was cut my hand. It used to. We've got Liverpool Street. I'll show Liverpool Street, I think. There we go. So as I said, you've got one in there, a winder, and you can actually do it from the front as well. So if you lift the flap up, let's have a look. You've got a little one in there as well. Hang on. Wrong way. There we go. This one's going to Hammersmith, look. I'll leave it at Hammersmith, sod it. Well, I've just finished the last pack and she's all done. And here she is in a full glory. As you can see, I didn't leave the actual adverts on, I did take them off. I've got a couple on the back, which I bought on Facebook from a guy who prints them. The good quality prints. I'll leave a link in below. And he does so many all side adverts, rear adverts, interior adverts, and I will leave a link below in case anybody wants any. But as you can see, she's all done, and here is the last piece of video. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video.